Welcome to another weekly update from Mill to Still. I'm Robbie. We've got a lot of stuff going on this week. I'm gonna get to jacking up this floor and then I'll show you everything else we did. I'm up on a ladder playing catch up since I was out at the beginning of the week, but we're still lifting the building on the first floor. We've gotten all our columns in with the new capitals and all that jazz, but we still have an issue with column 7 and 8. It's where the old building meets the new building. In order to bridge that and build a beefy enough column, we're having to add steel to the mix. So if you just kind of pan over, Bree, you'll see what exactly we've got going on. So I'm gonna get to jacking up this floor and then I'll show you everything else we did. It's as high as I go. We won some items in an auction and I was sick, so my wife got what she could fit in her minivan, which was a Turbo Chef rapid cook oven, super fun, a microwave that runs on high voltage. This microwave is a very large microwave. The last thing was a Mary Chef. Like a Turbo Chef, this is a rapid cook oven and it does rapid cooking somehow. I don't know anything about this stuff. I just know we've got some kitchen appliances and there's more to come, but we're gonna somehow, everything likes to die in this place, but we're gonna somehow protect it so it doesn't go to waste here. And I'm approximately where the kitchen will be. So this is its final resting place forever. And that happened this week, really cool. Hello, it's me again. This week was really cool. I took the time when I couldn't be here to make a paint schedule. So paint schedule means all the different elements of the building have to be discussed and labeled as to what they're gonna get finish-wise. Like, what are you gonna color the hardware? What are you gonna color the doors? What about the window trim? How about the floor? How about the stuff and the things? Did that. And it takes a lot of time that you don't really wanna spend. It's not a fun thing to do, but it's then fun to hand that to somebody and they start doing mock-ups. So Ryan came in with the paint schedule and he started taking each element and giving it a test run. And that just means that we take the bare original wall, we prep it is what we did here. So we've got it cleaned and scraped and ready for paint. In a lot of cases, we're gonna want to replaster possibly, but in this case, because of the industrial nature of the building and its historic fabric, I think the coolest option here is to leave the the gaps and holes in the plaster. We get rid of the loose stuff, we keep the stuff that's secure, and then we simply paint over it. And that just shows that this building is old and it's been through time. It's not been faked, it's just naturally how it is. So we took this wall, in another section right here, we made it look like this wall. So you can see here the exact same thing where you got the brick behind the plaster. We took a eggshell finish latex paint and we made sure that the original paint here was latex before, so water-based paint. You can't paint water-based paint onto oil, so in the first floor we got a whole different world. But here we were able to paint alabaster white eggshell paint on top of everything, leaving all the character, but making it clean and washable, which is important in a factory, it's important in a restaurant, it's important in a bar. So we done did it here, and I'm super stoked with it. This is a dark area here, but we've got some other spots where we have different lighting, and we tested each of those spots, and that's it. So the walls in the bar as of now are alabaster white, or they will be. That's what we've selected and officially given the thumbs up. So we're using old concrete slabs to reinforce and do our structural repairs. So that's what this noise is behind me. It's Trinity grabbing another reinforced slab so we can jack up the last part of this building. While he's doing that, I keep remembering that we've cleared out the woods. We've got grass established along the creek bank, so everything is safe and clean and nice again. It just looks like a park. Well, it looks like we built a park back here, and that is super awesome. I could spend all day just relaxing back here. We're starting to work our way towards the creek. The neighbors all think it's great. They've actually hired the same contractor, Trinity, to clear their yards, and it's just, this is going from what looked like a sanctuary for the homeless to a real actual sanctuary. So I think it's really cool. I can't believe I can even see the bridge from right here, which also means that if you drive by, you can see us. There's a mill back here. Well, last week we bricked up the rear lintel, the little baby one. This week, Arturo bricked up the big lintel, and this one was important that we really match that mortar right. I mean, it always is, and he always does. He really paid particular attention to this one to make sure it was just right, and that's done. So then next week, he's gonna do the sides of this, and then we wait to pour a slab. Once the slab is poured, we get our roll-up door and all the human doors and stuff like that put in the hole, and it'll look finished, and that's super cool. So we're really working toward, better half of this project. It's happening fast. We always go down to the creek. I say we. The masons always go down the creek and get the sand from the creek, because look at this stuff. It's absolutely gorgeous. Well, we've trampled and tracked and grown grass on all of our sand. So we started going over to the other side of the creek and taking sand from over there. We also, while we were over there, we were at one of the neighbors' houses and we were like, hey, these bricks look like our bricks. And we asked them if we could come take them, and graciously, the good neighbors let us go back there, and we got 2 pallets of brick that match the original section for this, because the same bricks that built those houses way back in the day. And that's super cool. Like, we ran out of our bricks here and we're like, I don't know what we're gonna do. And then that train came by and we got bricks from the neighbors. So that happened this week, and the sand keeps on happening every week, and that's super cool. So yeah, I know I talk about the sand a lot, but that's important. It takes this specific sand to make our mortar. All the jacks and all the braces for the first 6 posts are gone and out of here. No more steel I-beams running across this thing. Trinity's just scraped them all away. These are all in place. All these posts are in. All 6 of these posts. You would think that means we're done, but no, there's one weird piece of steel at the end of this building where 1875 meets 1916 that we're still working on, and it is a structural pain in the butt, but we're getting there very slowly. But it's just really cool to see the new stuff in and the old stuff 100% gone in the 1875 section. It really opens the place up, and I'm excited about that. So the brick's gone, I-beams are gone. We're gonna clean up this old section by the end of the day, and we're just one step closer to getting plumbing underground and pouring a slab in here. That happened this week. Really cool. got soil testing, and those guys were really cool. They came out and they had to do soil boring in various spots where we're gonna end up digging footings for a deck and where we're gonna put our barrel storage building. I'm gonna wait till this wind dies. So where we're gonna put a barrel building, we gotta dig footings. And we're gonna lay the building partially on this retaining wall here, which is, I don't know, 10 feet tall or something. It goes way into the ground. And we actually discovered recently that the footing is pinned halfway in, or this retaining wall it ain't going anywhere. But the dirt inside the retaining wall is kind of gross and sloppy and whatever, so we had to have the soil tested here. And to do that, they come out and they drill holes in various spots. And they taught me a lot of stuff, and I am an idiot, and I think they kind of realized that as they were trying to explain it to me. So they made me notes, and I'm gonna try to go over what happened here. But what they do when they're drilling these holes is they're looking at a bunch of things. They do visual inspections, they take samples as they go down, so they drill, they pull it up and they check. And then they take this rod, and picture this rod being twice as tall as me, and they jam it in the ground, and then they smash it with a certain amount of weight, and they see how far it goes, and that gives them a general bearing capacity. So if this, say, sunk really far, there's a low bearing capacity, but when you hit it, if it barely moves, that's a high bearing capacity. So what they're looking for as they fill out our report is visually, is it sand, is it clay, is it silt? We have what I would classify out here as sandy silt in most of our thing, meaning it's deposited silt from floodwaters and the creek over, I don't know, since the dinosaurs were here or whatever. They look at that to give it that classification. They've got on here dynamic cone pentrometer. Oh, it's the hammer test. He's like, hammer test, you stupid idiot, in quotes below. The hammer test being, you know, hitting it, so visually watching it go down and then writing that down, looking at a certain chart and saying, hey, this is what happened here. Then they send it to the lab. They do a Proctor test at the lab, and that's the max dry density, PCF, PCF, I don't know what that means. And then they do an optimum moisture test, and I also don't know what that means, but they wrote it, so I said it. They do a sleeve soil analysis and an Atterberg liquid limit. That gives us our soil plasticity and our moisture limit. So I don't know if any of that was coherent. They know what it means. And all this translates to is from what I gathered, it's the type of soil that we're working with, where it's located, you know, from 0 to 15 feet, because that is important. You might have good soil at one place and bad in another. And then it also shows you what that soil's good as if it was soaking wet, I guess, or if it was totally dry. So its highs and lows and dynamic use translates to a one number, basically, is all we're looking for. A bearing capacity number, pounds per square foot or square inch, whatever you want to do. That is then handed to a structural engineer to build a footing to hold the structure. So you go down east, North Carolina, you'll have situations where they drive piles in the ground, and they rely on friction. They can build giant buildings on piles that are literally being held. It's buried so deep that the friction on the sidewalls is what holds the thing together. And then you have traditional footings here. We can usually get away with spread footings like you see inside, where we have a 4 foot by 4 foot footing reinforced with steel to take what might be 10,000 pounds per square inch and make it a smaller pounds per square inch, whatever the soil can hold. Anyway, the soil guys were out here. They gave me a lot of education. It was really cool to watch them work. It was cool to see them drilling down in here and complain about how I basically bought a landfill, because where they did backfill this whole wall, it is pretty landfill-y in nature. But overall, I'm happy with our soil. Could bear more. Our North Carolina red clay is really good under the proper conditions. You can really put a lot of weight on it. And the sandy soil, I want to say we're around 1,000 pounds per foot bearing capacity here. I haven't gotten the results of the test yet, but I'm sure they'll be like they were when we did the retaining wall and everything else. I don't know if you guys remember in a previous build, we did the 12-foot tall retaining wall, and that ended up having to go 6 feet into the ground. That footing is the size of several of my trucks back to each other. Anyway, the soil test happened, and we'll see where it goes. So stay tuned, and I'll tell you what we end up with, and then I'll hand that over to the engineer, in heel draw footing. I'm sure it'll be adequate and not overkill at all if you're watching this, engineer. And I'll show you guys that. I'll show you the resulting footing that comes from the soil test and all that jazz. I might even try to read the soil test to you if I don't sound as dumb as I did reading these notes these guys made me. I hear you, Falcon. I think one of my favorite things to do, not that I have a lot of time during while the sun's up, but I was able to get the kids out here, and Marty's all about pirates and treasure and stuff like that. I was able to get him out here and we did a little panning for gold. The previous owner told me that so many people have wanted to mine this silty sand for gold. There's supposedly gold in it, and I don't know what I'm doing, but I brought Marty a gold pan, I don't know, a year ago, something like that, and we went down the creek, and him, me, and Max and Mommy did some gold panning, and that was really cool to hang out by the creek. I can just like picture when life chills out a little bit, doing that all the time. Well, while they're little babies and they still think that's cool. We'll pan for gold and enjoy this backyard. I can't wait to do that with us and even other people and the falcon that's stalking us right now. Anyway, kids came out this week. That was really cool. They came out again and dropped off the kitchen appliances for the new kitchen too. So it's nice that they come out here and get the updates and see the progress at the mill. They think it's as cool as a 4 and a 2-year-old could think it is. They think it's cool. Cheers, that was it. That's pretty much our video. That's what happened this week. It was just a lot of big items, nothing real little or anything like that. I got some quotes coming in. I think I found us a plumber that's gonna work this job out. But I'm always looking for contractors for plumbing, electrical, HVAC, site work, utility work, sprinkler, and carpenters. If anybody's a good carpenter, a modest carpenter, not an Instagram carpenter, but we need carpenters out here, so hit us up. If you'd like to see anything else in these videos, reach out in the comments below. Let us know what you think. Check out our website and everything we've got going on there. We've got all these videos on YouTube, and we launch new ones every week. We're doing some specialty videos coming up, and just, yeah, a lot of stuff like that. So thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to please like and subscribe to our channel. It's a pretty cool channel, and we'll see you on the next one. Cheers.